Welcome back to Prep Talk. I'm here today with a special guest. I'm with an administrator. I've talked to coaches, players alike. I'm here with the principal of Eustis High School, Mr. Clark, and we're going to talk about kind of his role in sports today and how long he's been doing today, Mr. Clark.
I'm doing fabulous. I'm thankful to be talking to you today.
Yeah, I appreciate you even giving me this shot because I don't think you've seen any Prep Talk shows, but you agreed to do it anyway, so I really appreciate that. So I've seen you at all of our games on the sideline and everything, so I just kind of wanted to talk to an administrator of like what is the role that comes with being a principal at a school that has a lot of sports or and all that. But how'd you get started? How'd you become a principal? Were you a teacher first? Or?
I did. I was a teacher, and I did 10 years of teaching, and I've several years now in administration. But you know, the story goes way back. So
okay.
You know, if you want me to start kind of at
yeah.
Okay.
Please.
So in sports, you know, you're here with a purpose. You're talking to me about sports
yes.
in school, and so my background, my whole life was sports. Everything as a child, you know, was all around sports. That was my existence. That was what I wanted to do every second. We didn't have social media. We didn't have cell phones. We were out playing, and so baseball was my initial true love. I started playing baseball when I was 8 years old, when that could finally happen. Back then, they didn't have anything before that. You know, if you're 8 years old, you can finally play baseball, and that led to youth football as well. You know, starting at a young age. I grew up in Land O'Lakes, Florida, a little small town over
not too far from there.
Yeah, and they didn't have football until I think when I turned 10. And so I jumped on that, had that opportunity to play youth football. And again, just that involvement in youth sports really, you know, made me the character. It developed the character, you know, that I was going to end up having, you know, throughout my life. Good experiences and bad experiences as well. So, you know, taking those experiences, all those years of my early life, I also had experience in business, which I have to include this because it kind of tells the story. My family had a business, and I was involved in that early on. I was working as a 12 and 13-year-old involved in the family business, and then, you know, kind of took over a portion of the business on my own as a young adult while I was going to college. And so, you know, you look at money and opportunity, and so I'm going to college to be a business major.
Right.
You know, I was at University of South Florida, getting ready to head into business management.
Yeah.
Go Bulls, that's right. And during that time, here's the key part. During that time, I answered an ad in the Tampa Tribune that said Police Athletic League looking for a coach and for the football team. And so I thought, you know, I always wanted to get back in and give back, and that part of my life was kind of missing at the time. I was doing a lot of other things, and so I went over and I met with the captain of the Tampa City Police, and I thought, I'm going to join this group and have some fun helping out Coach. And
were they playing each other or like other?
At the time, it was
stations?
Just Police Athletic League. It was just that inner city Tampa and South Tampa, East Tampa, West Tampa. So there weren't that many teams. But the kicker is before I left there, I said, man, I'm absolutely interested. I want to do this. Yeah. And I said, so who's the head coach? Who do I need to contact? He said, you're the head coach.
Just like that.
So, well, who are my assistants then that are already part of? You don't have any.
Yeah.
So basically, I was starting a new program, and I said, so, you know, the kids have signed up. No, you need to recruit kids. So what a learning experience, and it was just wonderful. So, you know, I went to the city rec department nearby, and I started gathering kids to be part of this team, and then reaching out to the guys that I played football with and baseball with, and we got it going. So your question, you know, was it just that, right there, those kids in that area? It started out that way. So my first 2 years, we were Police Athletic League competing amongst ourselves, and we just kept growing. And so we joined after my second year Tampa Bay Youth Football League, which was the league that I played in as a kid.
Yeah.
Big. I mean, it covered neighboring cities.
I've heard of it before.
It was Tampa Bay Youth Football League was really big. They had the Super Bowl. They had it all. It was like the Mac Daddy of football in the area. And so we joined it, and the big. Anytime you win, it's crazy exciting. Our first year in, the team that I had won the Super Bowl. So we joined an established youth football program that had been in existence since I was a little kid.
Right.
And we won it all. So, that was the type of...
That's incredible.
We had a lot of great players. The level of talent was amazing. But to tell you that story, the purpose behind telling you that story is during this time I'd also met a wonderful young lady named Wendy. And Wendy and I have now been married for 32 years. And at the time we weren't married and we were getting ready to make those serious commitments, she saw something in me that she said, you need to make a career of this. This is your calling. This is what you love to do, coaching.
Right, yeah.
And, like I said, I was at University of South Florida, business management, and it just changed the direction of my life, thanks to Wendy and thanks to all these kids in inner city Tampa that just, made that direction happen.
That's awesome.
For me. So,
yeah.
And went into USF as a PE teacher, switched my major. I'm now going to be a secondary PE teacher so I can coach and I can make a difference in kids' lives.
Yeah.
So
coaches are top of their class in recess, right? That's what they say.
People can make fun of PE teachers, but
I'm not making fun. I'm just
I'm saying in general, they think that it's an easy route and it's recess, roll the ball out. I learned so much from that program as well. I'm so thankful all the knowledge that was gained. But our program at USF was serious. I mean, young people were flunking out of it because they couldn't pass the coursework. Kinesiology, anatomy and physiology, all those courses, sports, medicine, everything, they couldn't pass the coursework. So, I feel like, that was a great accomplishment as well.
To get them, absolutely.
Yeah. It was a great program, but it prepared me well. Then I became, I stepped right out, got a job immediately in a middle school, did that for 3 years where I was the football coach there. Right. And then the local high school, Springstead High School, then recruited me. Recruited
we played them once when I was in here. I went to Eustis, but
Eustis used to play on a kind of regular basis. But that led me to where I am because of coaching. I left that after 3 years there at the middle school to go join the staff at Springstead High School. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Were you there in 2000 by any chance, or 99, I should say?
Yeah. Actually,
oh, really?
I don't know if I backed out. I may have backed out because I was coaching the baseball team at that time. I was the head baseball coach. So with football, I wasn't I wasn't involved as much. I had to back out because of doing the baseball year round, and then I had a young family of my own. But I was still part of the program, but not as heavy in the football.
So you're an administrator. You're a principal now at Eustis High School, as we talked about. So sports are important to you. How would you say sports are important to you? Like your administration, like you're here. Like how important are sports here at Eustis High School to you?
So
what does it mean to you, basically?
And the whole high school experience, I believe that students, youth need to connect to something. And if they're not connected to something, their motivation level, their success level is it diminishes. So we encourage young people to get involved in something that they can cling on to, that they can see some success and make a connection. So sports, I mean, so many opportunities. Band, robotics, whatever it is. If students are connecting with something, it's huge. But the athletic side, of course, is near and dear to my heart, because of my upbringing. So I feel like my experience level and knowledge and drive and passion around sports has been a benefit. But just getting them to connect it makes a lot of difference. The community, obviously community doesn't go out to see, certain things that students are involved in, but the sports,
yeah, they seem to kind of,
yeah, obviously,
yeah.
that's a that's
a form of entertainment.
And Eustis has an amazing tradition around athletics, and that I'm proud to be a part of. So,
That's awesome.
you involve the community, and they're wanting to come out.
You hire the ADs?
Yes, yeah, it's so key to have great athletic directors.
Yeah.
And Eustis High School had a long time. Harry Tomlinson's been with us forever.
Right, he just retired.
And just did an amazing job. Mike Hay was with him, and Mike Hay has moved on to administration. And you're happy for those folks
Right.
that move on and do great things for us. But it's very important to have the best possible athletic director, someone who's been in the trenches themselves, who knows what it's like to
Right.
coach and to deal with people. They have to just be an amazing communicator,
Absolutely.
and understanding of the time that
So
people
talking
commit.
to you and the coaches.
Yeah. So, but I'm one who I'm gonna be hands-on when it comes to athletics, because I just feel like it is such a key part, and it's so instrumental to,
Right.
the pride and the success of the school.
So do the ADs hire the coaches, or is that kind of a process you take along yourself, or like are they involved in the process of hiring coaches?
Absolutely, they certainly have the latitude. When it comes to football, that's a
Right.
bigger sport. Basketball, football, softball, things like that.
Right.
I'm definitely gonna be involved more. However, their input
Right.
is huge. When we brought in Coach Scott, we had a committee of folks. We involved a lot of people involved in that.
Really?
To be part of that process, because that.
How many applicants would you say you take in, or not applicants? Well, yeah, applicants. I guess resumes that you look for in a big sport like that.
So a big sport like football, I mean, we had well over 50, 60 people apply, but we narrowed it
Wow.
down, and the committee actually saw less than a dozen
Yeah.
that we actually interviewed and considered, with all the factors involved, and we made sure we got the right person.
All right. Yeah, he's a good guy. So, so that takes a lot of trust, because you got to trust them to kind of carry out the representation of Eustis High School and the representation of you as a principal of Eustis High School. So, how does that, what are the key things you're kind of looking for in an AD or a coach to, because you're trusting them with a lot. I mean, you can't go to every single game. I know you come to a lot of our games, but softball games, basketball games, they're a lot more frequent during the week, and I'm sure you got a family, so you can't go to all of them. So what are some of the key factors you look for to kind of know that you can trust them with hiring? That once you hire them, what are you looking for when you as far as trust?
Right.
I'm kind of rambling, but
it is, because you are turning them over.
Right.
You have to have a certain level of trust.
You're not going to be there all the time, right?
Right. I think one of the biggest things, and I know for me, it's character. If I believe in that person's character, whether it's my athletic director or a head coach like Frank Scott, who to me, just the character is there. There was no doubt in my mind. So that goes above and beyond everything, that they're going to instill in our players, in our students, that they're here to represent. That they're representing Eustis High School. And so I entrust in them that that's what they're conveying every day, whether it's through practice or when they're at the games. Sportsmanship and character, is got to be, at the top.
Right.
That's a priority. So I would never hire anyone with questionable character. And be, not to lead a program.
Right.
So, that I definitely have that trust in those coaches, that they're going to do that and do a great job at it.
Right. Okay, so that's trust. If we can kind of go to something that's a little less talked about, but everyone kind of knows, if we can, revenue streams and funding for public schools, I don't know how big it is on, how important it is for football to do well, basketball to do well, because that does, like you said, the community comes, they spend their money to come and get entertained. how important is winning? Because of course we want to have these kids go to sports and have great character and grow up to be great young men and women in the community. But at the same time, school can kind of be portrayed as a business. How important is winning for some of these big sports? Because we're talking about football, basketball, and I know there's other sports like cross country or whatever, but like it's football, basketball, and baseball or softball in our case. How big is winning?
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't think you'll ever hear me say winning is everything. However, when you don't win, that's when troubles, seem to surface.
Right.
People become discouraged, they're unhappy. So you want to build winning programs. I mean, hands down, that's a priority. And when it comes to, you started out you mentioned the word revenue.
Yeah.
And when your football program is winning and you're bringing in large crowds and the communities behind you. I believe that the communities should always be behind any program.
Yeah.
When it comes to our sports
That's
programs.
the ideal world.
But that doesn't, it's not, that's not going to happen. So they want to come out and see a winner. They want to come see a successful product on the field. And it does, those big sports, they do carry the financial burdens that help out the rest of the programs, because
Absolutely.
How many people can come see cross country, and there's no money involved in that, but yet they're important to us as well. They're out there, they're working hard, and they're doing putting in all that effort, but it's not going to generate tennis, it's just not going to generate the revenue, although it's important to those people participating and the families and our community as well. So winning, when you have a winning basketball program, softball program, football program, baseball program, whatever it is, that money does help carry all of those programs. So and there's a sense of pride in, in winning, and it builds. But
cool. Kind of switching gears so we can go back to when you started or became a principal. Is there something that has come up that you didn't foresee, as far as like is there a challenge to dealing with sports that just something that kind of came up that you didn't see before you became a principal? I mean, you've seen principals before, you're a coach and you're a teacher, and you've seen kind of things that they deal with, but once you're now in that seat, is there something that's kind of like, man, I didn't see that happening? And
so, to be honest with you, I don't think so. I don't think there have been any surprises, because I've been doing this for so long, and because I was a coach myself, and I, the whole, working with the community that I was involved in, the players, the parents, the money part, that money's just not given to you as a head coach. You're running a program, you figure it out. So I'm kind of used to figuring things out on my own. So really no surprises as after leaving the classroom and becoming an assistant principal. I was always connected with athletics, so I saw that side within the high schools on it's tough to raise money.
So that's good. You didn't you wouldn't have any surprises with
right the only thing is when it comes to boosters, I just feel like it's not really a surprise. I know their job's tough too, but we have athletic boosters, and they do everything they can, and we have folks who just pour their heart and soul into it. And even if they don't have children anymore at our school, and I have people here who do that, and my hat's off to them, because they're doing everything they can to build funds and help the programs. And it's tough. I mean, it's really a tough job. Eustis is Eustis, and we can generate so much here, but if you think of some of the other communities, funding comes a lot easier. Folks pouring the money in, and that just doesn't happen here. Not to say we don't have generous folks trying to help us out, but it's just not as prevalent here. So it is a struggle. So
I would agree with that.
If that's kind of that's an area that I see, I wish was different, but it's out of my, I won't say it's completely out of my control. All I can do is keep building those winning programs and involve the community as much as we can.
All right. Well, again, I want to thank you for allowing me this interview. I got one more question, And so the way I've been ending all of my shows is kind of asking, it's not hypothetical, but basically how would you have helped yourself if you could have when you started? So the way I'm asking you this question is a new, let's just say, because I know Strim. Strim becomes a principal. What would you tell him how would you tell him to deal with sports in his administration if he was, to become a principal at a high school?
So yeah, you use him as an example, and I don't think Mr. Strim coached.
He's been around sports.
He's been around sports.
Right.
He played sports.
He played sports, right.
But I just feel that until you actually coach, you're not gaining that true experience. So as a principal, and I've seen it. I've seen schools that have had principals that weren't coaches themselves, or maybe on staff as an administrative team, they didn't have anybody with that experience. So I would, if I'm talking to a new principal, I would caution them, to be on the lookout. Add to your team, or find someone to add to your team who has had that experience, because I just think experience is number one. If you haven't done it, then you don't truly know.
And you're not saying like no one can become a principal without coaching, but it's easier to kind of deal with becoming a principal once you've been a coach, or
right exactly. I mean, there are a lot of principals, great successful principals who weren't coaches back in the day.
But as it pertains to sports, it's easier to kind of deal with once you've been a coach.
Right. Okay. And even if you get an athletic director who you can rely on, who has had those years of experience as a coach, then you can make sure you're communicating with. But value their opinion. Make sure you're listening to those folks if you haven't had that experience. So if I'm talking to a new principal who doesn't have that background and knowledge when it comes to what it was like to be in the trenches, because I've seen it. People just don't truly understand what it's like.
And sports are a big part of what high school's about. So
it's the whole experience. Right. It is. But so it's all important. Everything that we do is important. But if you don't have a good handle, and you're not focused on having successful programs where people are involved, and the community's with you on it, then you're gonna have some troubles. So,
and you don't want troubles.
No.
All right. Well, thank you very much for watching today's show. Please like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell for new shows. And again, Mr. Clark, thank you so much. And I'll see you around campus.
All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.